Hello, hello. Sweet 16 is here. It's the sweetest time of year. It is
Ooh.
third. We're right now watching Thursday night, recording for Friday morning. We are what, 2 games in now? We have two more
Yeah,
games to
two
go
games
tonight.
over, 2 games go. Tip off for Duke, Arizona coming momentarily. Oh,
Yep.
there it is.
Yeah. Immediately after. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love it. I'm so excited. It's March Madness. It's here.
it's the
We're cooking
weekend.
now.
It's
Yeah, we're
back.
cooking. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
cooking now. I love it. The last 3 days have got to be like one of the worst days, like the worst sport,
yeah,
like that. This PMT plug. Big Cat had said that like this past Monday has got to be one of the worst Mondays of the year, and like absolutely, because you get Thursday to Sunday basketball from the moment you open your eyes until you go to bed, pretty much. Like you get noon to midnight basketball 4 days in a row,
yeah,
and then just Monday is just such a shitty dead day. If it wasn't for TGL, we truly would have had nothing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday except for NBA on, and then today
yeah.
was MLB open season. So yeah, so it's an interesting week whenever you're rolling for the March Madness, but yeah, it's been fun so far. Unfortunately, like we said earlier off air, that tonight's 2 games so far have kind of been blowouts. So hoping for a little more closeness in here, but
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. It's not every day you have Alabama setting records for the most threes in a NCAA
crazy,
March Madness
wild.
game. So,
Alabama football
um,
school out here
yeah.
balling.
I don't know if you guys heard that, but my dog's choking. She's fine though. Don't worry about her.
She's joking. I did not hear it.
Okay,
I thought
that's
maybe
good.
Broody was making an appearance.
No, no, no.
She said, "Let me
She
tell you
better
what I
not be
feel
making an
about." She said,
appearance.
"Let me tell you what I feel about Russell Wilson."
um, but yeah, so I got a quick question for you before we start.
Hit me with it.
Pepsi or Coke?
Do you know my answer?
I'm fairly confident I know your answer.
Which would be?
I think you're a Coke guy.
Oh, I am it's bad. Like it
Yeah.
is really.
Okay.
We're actually a Coke commercial on right now. I don't know if you see that too, but I have a Coke Zero commercial on right now. It's like all
No.
the schools and stuff. They just had a Coke in their hand. I think that's what this is. Yeah, Coke Zero commercial. Yeah, I grew up as that. Like my mom was
Right.
a Coke person.
I knew
She was the one
that.
that. Yeah, she was one where it was like. And as a kid, I was like, "That's crazy. You're out of your mind." When she was like. McDonald's Coke is fourth, bottled Coke is one, canned Coke is two. Like she had like a ranking of Cokes, and
Sure.
like dude, I was like, you're insane. But like now as an adult, like that's my one. Like that is my vice. Like I can, aside from weed, because that I consider medicine, and I could even, I have and will and can just like cut it out for like throughout the day and shit. But like sleeping, like through sleeping, like the moment I wake up, I can have like a little and be content all day, and then nighttime, like I just got to do it, or I'll have like panic attacks trying to fall asleep. So like I need it to sleep. Like I'm willing to admit that.
Yeah.
Aside from that, though, like alcohol, um like junk food, sweets, whatever else, like I have no problem cutting any of that shit out at any problem. I have no problem drinking a shit ton of water. I'm always hydrated. I'm always good with water. Not drinking Coke, I just can't, dude. I literally cannot do it. Like there's just something about having like a full meal or whatever that like I need a nice cold Coca-Cola with it. Like I am talking, we will all sit down for dinner and I'll go to open the fridge and be like, fuck, I'm out of Coke, I forgot, and I'll have to run to Sheets or whatever to grab a Coke and come home to sit down and eat. Like the
Yikes.
idea of sitting down to eat a meal without a Coke, and for me, we Kayla and I were just talking about the other day where I was like, the heavier the meal, the more likely like I cannot eat it without a Coke. Like something slight, real quick, a snack or whatever. Like I don't need a Coke with it, but like. So like usually I won't have it for breakfast or whatever, but like I
Sure.
absolutely, if I'm eating lunch, like it's like a burrito or pizza or a burger, like the idea of not having a carbonated, disgusting corn syrup drink to go down after that is just like I cannot, like I can't do it. I have gone through little spurts without it, but I just can't. So
Gosh,
yeah.
yeah.
So to answer your question, I am a
Big
hardcore
big
Coke
Coke guy.
person.
Big
Big
Coke.
Coke guy. Ice cold can of Coke beats all else.
The polar
Yeah,
bear Coke, not to be confused with
right.
powder.
Yes. Yeah. Very much. Yeah, I can't handle all that. My energy's already too high. But yeah, no, yeah. I will drink Pepsi. Like I appreciate the Mountain Dew side of Pepsi, and I
Yeah.
also just learned the other day that Dr Pepper gets bottled by both. Did you see that floating around?
Yeah, I did know that.
I did not know that. That it
Yeah.
depends on the bottle shape, depends on which manufacturer they went through. So
Right.
Dr Pepper has always been technically Pepsi and Coke, which I did know
Right.
that, but I didn't know why or how it broke down. But then each bottling plant
Yeah,
uses
they
technically a different
distribute through both
recipe.
of them.
Yeah, but then they technically use a different recipe because it goes through each one, so that's why one tastes sweeter than the other. So
Yeah.
depending on the bottle is the type of Dr Pepper you get. Which I was talking to Rand about it, and I was like, I never knew this, and that's why the tall Dr Peppers fucking suck because they're Pepsi made. And I was like, that sucks, dude. So yeah, so not a real big Pepsi guy, but I will drink it if needed. But like,
Okay.
yeah, if I have the option, I need me a Coke. I think you're a
Gotcha.
Coke guy too, though. Or no, you might be a Pepsi guy. That actually didn't
If
surprise
if
me.
I'm picking Pepsi or Coke, I'm picking Pepsi.
Yeah, see,
But
I actually
full
thought so.
transparency, I hardly ever drink soda.
Really?
I drink almost exclusively water and beer.
Really?
To the point
Damn.
that
See, I don't.
I
Yeah, I
don't
don't
know that
drink
I could tell you the
coffee.
last time I had a soda.
Oh, I
I have no
couldn't tell you
idea.
last. Could not tell you the last time I didn't have at least two in a day. Could
When
not tell you the last time I did not have one for lunch and one for dinner at least.
when I do have a soda, it's typically root beer. And
That's a good one too.
I'm fine with Mug or A&W. I don't or Barks is Cokes. Um,
Barks and Mug. Barks is my favorite. Mug I can do. A&W I cannot. A&W
yeah,
is, for me, has got a
I
weird
can do
taste to
all of
it.
them, but I just again I don't drink enough of it that like
You
but
care. It's a treat
the time
regardless. Yeah.
between drinking them, I don't even remember what the last one tastes like to
Right, right,
compare and
right.
contrast.
Yeah,
So
you're in a situation where you're like, "Fuck it, I feel like a soda," so you're not gonna
yes,
sit and nitpick which one's
yeah,
which. But yeah, no, for me, it's yeah. I even tried like recently. It's like I sat down to eat dinner, I opened the fridge, and I just went and Ran and Kelly both went out of Coke, and I was like, "Fucking A." And Ran was like, "Why don't you just try a Coke Zero?" And I took a sip of it, and I was like, "That's fucking no, no, no. I'll be back." I was like, "One of y'all can finish that one. I'll be back." But yeah, it's a problem. I also too is one of those ones where like people always clown people for like listening to Rogan, but I mean
yeah,
for the most part, especially like health stuff and like hunting and things like that, like he's usually right. So like one of those was that where they were talking about it one day and he was like, it's also kind of that Keanu Reeves theory where it's like the lady that did everything right, didn't eat any sugar, didn't do this, still died at 50, and then the guy that ate
yeah,
like shit lived to be 96. Like that whole theory anyway. So it's like you want to do some things to take care of your body, but at the same time, don't cheat yourself out of good stuff. And that for me, like that was my one where I was like, you know what? If I cut out everything else, I drink plenty of water, I exercise, I do everything else I'm supposed to. Rogan said it one day where he was like, yeah, he was like, people think that like ordering the right meal or whatever, or getting the light fish sandwich is gonna help from McDonald's, but like you're still drinking a Diet Coke with it. And it was like if the diet and Rogan made a joke where he
right,
was like, if the Diet Coke is what takes you out, then fucking so be it. You weren't made to be here anywhere. And I literally was like, good ass point, dog. I'm gonna drink Coke like a motherfucker. That I was like, I'm gonna do everything else to keep my body right. And if Coke is what takes me out, then so be it. Like that's the one vice I had, the one thing I just really enjoy, like diet wise, that's not good for me. And I was like, because like I said, I don't do sweets, like I don't do a lot of
yeah,
other shit. So it's like that's the one that's really bad for me, and I just don't care.
gotcha,
Fuck it. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. So
yeah.
I
For
want a
what
Coke. I want a Coke after drinking, talking about all this, honestly.
for what it's worth, though, I am very strict. When I get sick, it is always a Sprite.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
I'm
Yeah. Yeah. See,
sick, it
that's
is
true. Yeah. Yeah.
always Sprite. I'm not a ginger ale guy. I'm a Sprite
Yeah,
guy.
I like the crispiness of this. The
Yes,
Sprite tastes more like soda. Ginger ale tastes more like medicine to me.
yeah,
So anytime I have the Sprite, I feels like I'm getting a soda, but then also like this really light, refreshing drink that it's like I really fucking needed this.
yeah,
I also too was really weird is I really cannot drink a Coke just by itself. Like when I just said, oh man, I could drink a Coke right now. If I had the urge to drink a Coke, I need to then find food to go with it. Like I need something like salty to eat with it.
this
I can't
explains why
just
you're
drink a
always
Coke.
making late night runs.
Late night snacks and shit. Like I gotta go get some snacks and go get like a soda or whatever. Like I gotta go do stuff because I need something to go with it. Like I drinking a Coke just by itself is like too like it's too sugary and too like cherry flavor. Like it's too much. Like
Yeah.
if I just picked one up right now and drank it without any food, it's gross. But like once I start eating some salty food, like fucking sign me up, dude.
Also, for what it's worth, since you brought it up, I remember the Joe Rogan episode you're talking about, and my thing is Cheez-Its. I
Yeah, it's what we're like, these are bad and I don't care. I
yeah,
just don't care. I
yep.
just don't care.
I
I don't
know
care.
I know I
Oh,
can
they're
make them
processed and they're
healthier. I know
bad.
I can
Yeah,
make them at home.
yeah.
I
I
know
don't
all
care.
of this stuff. I don't
La la
care.
la la la
I'm
la.
going I am going
Yes.
to eat a family-sized bag of Cheez-Its every
Every
week,
time,
and I am
every time
going
we
to
go to the
buy a
grocery
new
store,
bag next week.
every week.
Every time. I don't
Might I
care.
worry about my cholesterol someday? Sure. Am I going to cut the Cheez-Its out then? No. Like, I'm just
Yes.
still not. Like, they are
Yeah.
just always going to be there. Yeah, for
Yes.
me, that's soda. It's like, I'll change my whole diet. I'll cut out Chipotle. I'll stop drinking beer. I'll work out in the morning. I'll work out at night. Like, I'll do whatever. But, like, to ask me to stop drinking Coke is like, ooh, you're pushing it. You are pushing it, sir.
Fair
But
enough.
yeah, so that also too is so funny. Randomly, we're now having a 20-minute conversation about soda, but this is not the parent shame. Everybody does their thing, but that is one where me as a child got whatever I wanted. So at
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, I was pounding Dr. Surge, the highest sugar content
Kudos
soda.
bars and Doritos with
Dude,
American
kudos
cheese.
bar, dude, just and a fucking soda to top it down and some tea cooler.
Yeah.
I ate whatever I wanted. I destroyed my teeth. I set horrible expectations for my body with sugar and things like that. So like I now still to this day pay for it on days where I have 4 or 5 sodas, which is insane. But I can drink it and have no problem. Whereas other people are like, that would make me sick, or I'd be hyper for 2 weeks. Like
Yeah.
I could drink soda and go. I drink a soda with Xbox and go right to bed. Like it's no problem. It's just it's my juice essentially. With that being said, I don't ever parent shame, but please stop giving your children that are like 5 and 6 and 7 years old like 2 or 3 sodas. I have seen that so much over the past like 2 years with the kids getting older
Yeah.
and being at like birthday parties and shit. They're like, somebody will come up and be like, "What do your kid want?" They like Coke or Dr. I'm like, "They'll have apple juice, watered down, or water. Do you have fruit punch?" Like, or like, I'll be like, "You guys want some Fanta today?" Like I know it's just orange soda, so like I'll let him have a little sip of it. But they've like legitimately never had a soda straight up, like at all ever. And so like I
Okay.
don't want to be the parent that never lets them have it, where they go to their
Right.
first birthday party and they get sick off it. But I don't want them to have the dependency that I did. And so
Yeah.
like yeah, so I've been very weirdly strict about that of like no soda, because I've just seen too many kids that are like 5 and they just crack open a Coke and I'm like, oh, that kid's gonna be like me. That sucks. Like that's so bad. But yeah, because I'm like, I did it, so like I'm not
Yeah.
shaming you. I am that person, but like I learned that that sucks, and so I just was like, yeah, no, I can't do it with my
It's
kids. Like,
it's also of note, and I'm sure you've seen this stuff going around on social media, that like the snacks and the drinks that we had in the 90s and early 2000s growing up are not the same drinks that they're getting today.
no,
Snacks,
yeah, yeah,
not the
it
same
is.
ingredients. They have all these
No,
dyes, all these artificial
yep,
sugars.
yep. It's weird
It's
that that's one thing that has gotten worse as like life has gone on. Was that
yeah,
they were like, yeah, fuck it, let's make the food plastic and fake and junk and
yeah.
everything, and
It's
it was
cheaper.
like
That's why.
cheaper, yeah,
Yeah,
but it was like, dude, we could have made this so good. And it was like,
yeah,
yeah, you're right, yeah. And it's yeah, and I'm really learning that too. Like we've been doing it a lot of like going trying to go to like farmers markets and shit. And like I realized that like we had our Sam's Club membership and we walked in one day and I like really like looked at it where I was like, let's say we stop drinking soda, we get bottled water there, what else do we get here? We buy Eggos in bulk. Eggos are trash. We buy Lunchables in bulk. Lunchables are trash for the kids. And then it was like they have those two fucking massive snack aisles, all
yeah,
just junk and big 40 packs of chips and all this other shit. And I'm
yeah.
like, and then like I saw a TikTok of it where it was like, you don't realize it, but literally everything in the grocery store is actually there to poison you. Like the grocery store was how they got the plastic
For the
food to
most part,
you.
yeah,
You're supposed to go to the farm to get it and cut the grocery store out. Like the grocery store was how food made money off of farms. And it was like, damn, like big food. And so it was like, that's crazy that like that actually is where we're at now, that like literally everything in the grocery store is junk and you got to really nitpick to find what you want. So
I
yes, we've been
promise
trying to
this
do.
isn't a conspiracy podcast.
Yeah, no, it's not. I'm just trying to eat healthier. I'm just trying to eat whole foods and one ingredients, less ingredients. Someone at Chipotle told me at one time where I was like, I don't even know where to start. I was like, every time I think about eating healthy, I get so overwhelmed and I just don't even know what to do. And she was like, let me make it real clear for you. She's like, pick up something in the grocery store, read the ingredients. Do you know what's in there? Can you pronounce it all?
Right.
Do you know where that comes from? Do you know the tree that that grows on? If not, put it down. And then like ever since then, like I'll pick shit up, and so like you have me googling shit with words that I don't know, and like I gotta
Yeah.
determine if it's like a natural cool thing or if it's some fucked up ingredient that we shouldn't have in America. And so yeah,
Yeah.
so it's so weird that like I do that, but then also like let them have iPads on certain days and shit. So it's
Hey,
like yeah, like I'm not perfect as a parent at
right.
all, but like yeah,
None of
that's
us are.
yeah, yeah. You wing it and you figure out what works. But
Yeah.
alrighty, talk to me about some football.
Well, it's been slow.
It
We've
has
hit that pre-draft kind of slump.
yep.
There were, I guess one. I guess
Two
there's one,
or 1.5. Yeah, yeah, it's,
one and
yeah.
a half ish. Yeah. So,
Because we might have
uh,
already mentioned the
we
other.
mentioned Jameis going to the Giants. And then later that week they spent a bunch of money to bring in Russ. So like
Crazy.
he's what, making money from 3 teams now. Like
Yeah, I mean we were
I saw
barely
that and I was
paying
like,
him this
damn.
year,
Like,
but yeah, he's getting checks out the ass right now. But I just did not see that coming. Like I
me
thought he
neither.
was going to be ring chasing and a team would take a chance. Excuse me, like I thought a team would take a chance, so maybe that's what I was thinking, is that like none of the ring chasing teams took a chance, and so he just ended up in New York. And I heard someone, it might have been PMT plug part two, but someone had said like, "Oh, the Giants are in a win now mode," and blah blah. And I was like, "With what? No, what? No, they're not. Like, who are you bringing in to just fix the Giants?
I,
Like, I feel like they have so many holes. They have all these cool young studs, but I don't think a coach and a quarter like they'd be like the Broncos. Like we had all
yeah.
like we were bad, we had a bunch of cool pieces, but like Sean Payton and Russ still obviously didn't fix it. So like bringing in some Belichick and Russ is not gonna just
I
win you a Super Bowl this
I
year.
actually believe, or I actually agree with you a lot in that the Broncos are a great comparison because you guys have a lot of pieces.
Yeah,
You've got a decent head coach, like not terrible, not the best,
I would say
but
2 or 3 years ago we were comparable. We are light years better than them right now.
yes, but also
They're dog shit when they
you
made the playoffs.
you look at the division you're playing in,
Oh
and it's
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
you're probably not gonna win your division.
No,
Like
hell no, no, no,
like
no.
even
Well,
in
I
your
don't know.
best year, you're
Yeah,
still gonna be a
it's,
wild card team.
yeah, for
You
sure.
know what
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean? Like
We're the
like
Vikings Lions situation. That's like
yes,
our division is
right,
basically like our division has done that now for what that division did in the NFC. That's going to be us for sure.
yeah,
Because if Brady gets the Raiders on the right track, like Harbaugh is going to be around for a while.
right,
Patty's still going to be there
exactly.
for a couple more years. So like, yeah, our
And
division
so
is
like,
fucking insane.
look, the Cowboys are what they are. Jerry Jones is doing something down there. We're still not sure what. And
I feel like he
but then
does
you
not have
have
a lot of time left.
I hope he does.
Live
And
forever.
and then you have Philadelphia and Washington, and it's like you're looking at best case scenario, you're the third seed in our division,
Yeah,
not even
yeah,
the conference, our division.
yeah,
It's
yeah. I
just
don't know.
and like look, you guys easily can compete for one, for at least two. You can make an argument for one, depending on how the Chiefs are playing. But like again,
Right.
the Chiefs are one of those teams that's just like you gotta beat them and you
Yeah.
haven't yet. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, and it's usually
like
like you guys beat them
yes,
in the Super Bowl this year, but no one beat them through the regular season.
right,
Basically, like they
yeah,
lost one game and
right.
barely,
And I
and
understand
so
they should have lost a bunch of games,
fucking
like
handful.
the blocked field goal against you guys. Like that's not something that's
The
gonna happen
Raiders
every year.
fumbling their fucking
Yes,
snap. Like yeah,
exactly.
there's a
Like
handful of
there's
dumb
stuff,
fucking things. The
there's those
Jets
small
missing the
games
field
that are
goal.
gonna
Like
go the other way eventually, and I think maybe you're there. But yeah, the I don't saying the Giants are in a win now mode
it's
is
crazy.
bonkers.
That's what I said. I
I
heard that and I was like,
just
the fuck? No, they're
yeah,
not. I was like, that's a wild take,
yeah.
but yeah,
That's a hot take for sure. But yeah, as
yeah.
we get into it, we are 20 days away from the draft. That's as of Thursday. So if you're listening to this on Friday, it's 19. Um, so yeah, exciting stuff. Schedule release in 40/39.
Love that.
Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it for the NFL. Like we said, slow times. Just kind of waiting
Still,
to see a few more pieces fall, and
yeah,
then I mean, at this point, it's basically just draft news,
yeah.
and maybe a day or two before the draft, it'll pick up. You might get some
A couple of
trades, some
trades and
draft
stuff.
picks,
Yep.
stuff like that.
Yep. Yeah, I'm
So we'll
excited.
see what happens.
Yeah, football season's coming. I love that the boys
And
keep asking for it. They both have just been like, "When is football here?" And I'm like, "Dude, 5 more months. I'm counting down 2. Stop making it take long."
yeah, I think we talked about this. The USFL starts this
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
weekend?
yeah, I did. I
Question
think I
mark?
wrote that down on a note and don't know what I did with that note. I definitely wrote that down last time.
Yeah, March 28th. They start tomorrow. It's a doubleheader.
Love that. Fuck yeah, let's
Or
go.
sorry, a single game tomorrow night at 8 p.m. But like
Love
basketball.
that.
And then a single game Saturday and a doubleheader Sunday. So
Fuck yeah, we're watching football this weekend, boys. Hell
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, pre-playoffs for the NBA, things falling into place. Yeah,
Yep.
some seeding and all that.
Yep, all the good stuff. Everything's pretty much stayed still where they were. Like there was a couple of flip flops in those lower seeds, but for the most part, they were exactly where they were when we talked about it last week.
Right.
Big news, really. Jason Tatum got hurt the other night. Domantas Sabonis closed out on him and did the thing where he like shuffled his foot underneath his landing space, and JT came down and just like bounced weird on a sprained ankle. Team said it looks good, everything's fine, he'll be back in a little while. But then some other people were like, they're pretty much locked in at the 2 seed. Should they rest JT for the rest of the season? Like it's like 12 games or whatever. Like should they just shut him down and make sure that his ankle's good? Because sprained ankles sometimes get
Right.
worse and then
Yeah.
they're really fucked. And so yeah, so it looked bad. He was in real big pain. He got kind of like carried off, and so yeah, it was not a great look. It was a moment of oh no fucking way is this
Right.
the end? And like yeah, it's like luckily he's good, but so we'll see. So hopefully the Celtics rest him for a little while, and then they come into the playoffs fucking hot and ready to go. Speaking of the Celtics, though, their sale is getting finalized soon, so that's $6 billion to that real estate
6.1,
company.
I think.
6.1 to that real estate development company in
Wild.
California. Wild. The NBA, Adam Silver had his president podcast live conferencing the other day, and had mentioned that two things. One, that they are absolutely looking at an expansion team, so it's probably gonna be Vegas or Seattle or something like that, or an additional
Okay.
Texas team was the weird, getting another in Texas for some reason.
Who's down there? The Mavs in Dallas.
San
San
Antonio
Antonio
Spurs, and
Spurs,
Houston Rockets. So that's
Rockets.
it. It was like I think it was like San Jose was the question because there's an NHL team there. I think.
There is the San Jose Sharks, but that's California.
Okay, they're not San Jose. And it wasn't El Paso. I feel it was somewhere else. I forget. I remember feeling it was maybe it wasn't Texas. Maybe it was California then. And then
California
that's why I
would
just
make
was like,
sense. Yeah.
maybe that's what it was. It was
Okay.
California, but everyone was like, they already have a bunch of California teams, and they just moved the Warriors from the Bay, and like, what are we doing? And like,
Right.
Oakland just moved out to Vegas, so like, why are we putting another NBA team out there? Like, why don't we just do Vegas? But yeah, so Vegas and Seattle were the two, and then there's a third one. Like I said, that was a weird one, but I thought it was Texas, but maybe it was California. Could definitely just be wrong on both.
Fair enough.
Regardless, expansion team on the way. That was the anticipation, but also the NBA is in works with developing a European league, which could then get interesting as far as like having like a world title thing between the two leagues. Like you'd have like an
Oh, okay.
NBA champion and a Europe champion, and
Yeah.
they play each other in like a 7 game series. So like that could get real interesting. But other than that,
Interesting.
Warriors are a little injury ridden right now. Gary Payton hurt. Steph Curry should be back this weekend. Dre was hurt for a little bit, so they were kind of sliding in there. They locked in. They were looking at that 6th seed and then started sliding a little bit. Lakers also started sliding a little bit. And then the only real news that has come out of the NBA this week was Monday afternoon. I don't think it was really announced a lot ahead of time. I think it was, or maybe it wasn't Monday, maybe it was Wednesday. Yesterday? Was it yesterday? I lost track of my days. I think it was yesterday, actually. But it was announced like Monday or Tuesday that LeBron was doing a 1 hour special on Pat McAfee show. Um, and it was like unscripted, unfiltered.
Yeah.
He was just walking in and recording, and like that typically doesn't happen, and
Right.
it without a bunch of notice and marketing and everything else. Like it was just crazy. Everyone was like, "What the fuck is happening?" Mid season, he's like he had a game in California or whatever, and then a game in
He's
Oklahoma
been like
City.
in and out with an injury,
He
right?
just got back from the injury, just got back from a groin injury, just returned this past weekend, and then randomly flies out to McAfee on Tuesday, records the episode, and flies back and starts balling again. And so it just was like, what the hell? Last night, though, everyone said so. They recorded Tuesday. Game was on Wednesday. They played the Pacers. They played the Pacers last night. LeBron hits a game winner as time fucking
Oh yeah, the
expires.
tip.
Prior to the game, though, Pat was like, he's gonna have a hell of a game. Like he was like, I reached out to Tyrese and was like, that boy gonna have a game. Like they're locked in. Like LeBron was here today, and like the energy he has right now, like holy shit. Um, and so like with that being said, LeBron came out and he has like the longest streak ever of 10 points or more in a game. Came out, scored 0 in the first half, had like 3 points heading into the fourth quarter, ended up with like 16 or 17 points or whatever. Hit the game winner. Like it was just like
Yeah.
there was no way he wasn't gonna just get 10 points. Like it's too easy for him to just go get 10 points. So yeah, so LeBron gets game winner last night. But also speaking of which, like so it was last night because the episode aired yesterday. So the episode aired, and if you haven't seen it, definitely go watch it. Like type in Braun McAfee. It is just or McAfee. It has been everywhere. It's all that everyone's been talking about. He called out Stephen A. He called out Brian Windhorst, talking about Bronny, talking about being a dad,
Yeah.
talking about the trash Cavaliers team. Mentioned that he thinks that the NBA rigged the draft lottery so that he would go to Cleveland. He was like, I mean, come on, we think that happened by chance. Like he very much so talked
Okay.
about like like he just was like, I mean, if you guys really think that that happened by chance, like the kid from Cleveland, blah blah blah, and like talked about how like he had never really moved out of his hometown. He lived in Akron whenever he got drafted to the Cavs then, so he bought a house in Akron, stayed in Akron, drove 30 minutes to the stadium and back. So when he went to the Heat, that was like legitimately the first time he'd ever even moved out of his hometown. Like he had never left the
Okay.
area he was from, and it was like,
Right.
damn, like obviously he traveled places in basketball tournaments and
Sure.
away games, but like never actually just like stayed somewhere. Like so he was like that was really like college for me. He was like going to Miami. He was like I bought a house and I was an adult, but like that was like my college experience. um Talked about the Pat Riley cookie situation one time. Pat Riley, like they were losing, and LeBron always had these the stewardess made fresh cookies on the plane every day. Like they cooked cookies in the plane and made
Yeah.
them for the players. And one day they got on and they were like looking at him weird. And he was like, "Where are the cookies at?" And they were like, "We were told we can't serve any more cookies." So, like they were losing, and Pat Riley was like, I don't care who anybody thinks they are. Like no cookies on the goddamn plane, and so like that was the whole thing. Where like they
Wow.
made jokes about it. But yeah, it was a wild episode. Like he just got out there. Like it's cool to hear him. Like he does that barbershop talk episode too, or that podcast. So it's like you can hear him swear other times, but like hearing him for so long now, we've been listening to him talk in
Right.
press conferences for 20 years on ESPN. He's so clear cut and so professionally spoken, and so it's like you don't get to hear how he really talks. So like hearing him on these situations like be genuine is so nice. But yeah, I'm sure that like I said, people have seen all kinds of things about it. But yeah, the Braun on Pat McAfee show was it was fucking awesome. I loved it. I sat
Okay.
here during my work and just I was like, this is amazing. But yeah, so just yeah, he talked a lot of shit. He called out some people. He responded to some things. They asked him about flopping, and like he acknowledged that shit. He was like, I do it because I don't get calls. He was like, I do it on purpose. He was like, I fucking yeah. He's like, I'm not getting the calls when I'm not flopping, so I
Yeah.
gotta exaggerate so I can get some kind of fucking calls. And he made a comment where he was like, most people that used to play against me and then come play for the Lakers will go, you know what? when I played against you, it felt like you got every fucking call. And now that I play with you, I realize you don't get calls for shit. Like the amount of times you actually get fouled a game
Right.
versus how often, like, and the refs have said that before where they're like, well, yeah, he's bigger and stronger. So the contact against him doesn't affect him. We
Right.
call fouls based on the shot being affected. And it was like, that's not his fault though that he's stronger than
Yeah.
everybody. Like
Yeah.
if I foul him, I foul him. The fact that he
Yeah.
doesn't feel my arm isn't his fault. Like that's crazy to not call fouls because he's too strong. Like what a
I've heard that
wild
argument
take.
before, especially the one that's like, well, if we called every foul on him, it would just be free throws every time.
Right,
It's
yeah, it
like,
just would be well that yeah, that's the point. Yeah,
yeah,
like yeah, like they have to get out of the way then or the other team will foul out and forfeit. Like
yeah,
what do you want them to do? Yeah, it's crazy that they don't
yeah,
acknowledge that, but he's just like this is what it is. And then the only other thing that was cool to hear was him talking about like the sponsorship deal and like getting the Nike deal, and he was like, I took that Nike. He was like, all I can say about that, he was like, I felt pressure to like love and support for Nike because the day after I left that meeting, I moved my mom out of the hood. He was like, I was set for life. He was like, they wrote me that
right,
check. It cleared. The next day we bought a house. He was like, it was the next day we went and we said, I got money. I got money now. And so like that was just cool to hear. And so again, too, like I'm a huge LeBron fan. Like I love it. And like the fact that he's been doing this shit for so long and it's like John sent me an Instagram post the other day where it was like, imagine having a bad day, but you actually are on the fucking timeline of Earth the same time LeBron's career is happening. And it was like, that's a good ass point, dude. There hasn't been a lot of things as cool as that have happened in history. So,
yeah. Well, we talked
but
about
yeah,
that earlier off air about the basically the same thing just with Tiger Woods.
yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So
it's just like yeah, like
I
we
mean,
got to.
just
Unfortunately, that's like we did kind of miss that. Like we were
yeah,
too young for that. Like it didn't
yeah,
exactly hit the
right,
same. So yeah, we had, yeah. I'll give Scotty his flowers. That's what we were talking about off air. Was I was just watching a clip of Scotty Scheffler getting interviewed, and they asked him how he felt about being tied for, or he's in second place now, and he's been number one golfer in the world for like 2 years or whatever. And he basically was just like, yeah, being number one doesn't help me this weekend. Like, I still got to come out and perform. It's cool, though, because, like, it's not an award you get by accident. But let's be real, Tiger still has me by, like, 8 more fucking years.
right,
So it was like, you still have to be a perfect golfer for 8 more years. You have to be a third grader of golf for nonstop. And then you can
yeah,
catch up and tie Tiger. So, yeah, so Tiger is just in a league of his own. LeBron's in a league of his own. Like, it's just I actually thought about. I don't tweet or anything. I almost said I almost tweeted that today, but it shit pops in my head all the time. That was one where like I literally wanted to be like, next time someone argues about Jordan and LeBron, I'm gonna go. Did Jordan shut Stephen A. Smith up? No. Then shut the fuck up. Like, did Jordan make Stephen A. Smith irrelevant for the rest of his career? No. Okay, then LeBron's my goat. Like, it's done now. The conversations are over. The ring chasing, I don't care. He made Stephen A. Smith look like an idiot, and then he posted. You probably didn't see this. I definitely not because you have IG. Last thing on it. Stephen A. called out LeBron then today and was like, they had this beef going on back and forth for the past few weeks.
yeah,
Calls him out today and was like, if he would have touched me, I would have put hands on him. Immediately, LeBron goes to Instagram. I don't know if you saw this or not.
no,
LeBron goes to Instagram, posts the video of Stephen A. from a few months ago doing like a training session, like hitting a guy's boxing gear. Like the guy's got his hands up. Stephen A. looks like so slow and not explosive. Like
oh
it's like
yeah,
this like this like type like aerobics workout thing. Like it doesn't look like he's
sure,
actually punching. LeBron posted that with like another clip of some dude in like a viral video going womp womp womp, and like like LeBron posted that on Instagram today, and so it was like he's just really in like a doesn't give a fuck mode right now that just kind of popped up within the last
yeah,
month, and like I'm here for it. I am fucking here for it. And like John even said, he was like, I mean, honestly, he's been doing like this cookie cutter perfect person for 20 years and he's about done, so like why not say what the fuck he feels finally.
right,
Like, that's actually a good point. So
yeah,
yeah, I'm all here for the LeBron Venge tour, for him to start calling out people and having receipts for people that have talked shit and all this other stuff. So but yeah, that's all I got for basketball. Like I said,
fair
March Madness
enough.
is going to wind down here and NBA playoffs start, so we're getting to crunch time now. Oof, good move.
Yeah, so moving right along, opening day for the MLB, the second one, I guess, because they technically
Call it
had a
in
regular
5 months.
season series in Japan. Um, I don't know,
Oh
whatever.
yeah, call it in
Regardless,
5 months.
the Phillies won and the Pirates lost. Keep the two home teams. So
Were the
Pirates
Phillies at home
fans,
today?
yeah, no, they were in Washington.
Okay, 'cause I thought they had
Um,
them.
but yeah, the Pirates lose, so like Pirates fans, I unfortunately hate to tell you, but like prepare for another bad season. I don't know anything about baseball, but I would just expect the Pirates to have a bad season because I don't know that they've had a good one since I've been alive. And
Feel
then
that.
the Phillies are hopefully have a good season, but we'll see what happens. As we said with NFL, it's a long season. That's only 18 games. This is 10 times that.
That
So,
dude, it's just
uh,
too much. It's too much.
like
My mom the other day was here for dinner and she said, "Ooh, the opening day is Thursday," and I was like, "Dog, call me in 5 fucking months. Like, I don't care at all."
5 even seems short.
It does. That's what it
Um,
is.
so yeah, moving right along though, NHL. We're one Gretzky record is broken, and oh, excuse me,
Wait, say
and
that again?
one Wayne Gretzky record gets broken, and we're on record watch for Ovi still. So Ovi did score another game or another point um, the other night, and let me make sure he didn't score tonight.
Oh yeah, he
He
did have
did
a
not
game on
score
tonight.
tonight. So he has 10 games left. He is 6 goals away from breaking the record, and that is after tonight's game Thursday. So 10 games, 6 goals. Let's get it. Again, he still has the playoffs, so like
Yeah, but we want to see him just cap it the regular season, be done with it.
would be cool to see in the regular season. But but yeah, has the playoffs even if he does retire after this year, which I don't know that he will. But regardless,
He does look
uh,
looking old out there.
as much as I cannot stand this individual, Crosby, he does score the other night, which ensures that he has 80 points in the season, which means he now has 20 straight seasons, or not straight, but he has 20 seasons of averaging more than a point per game. Um,
Damn.
yeah, so he scored at least 80 points in 20 seasons. Wayne Gretzky only did it in 19. He only played for 20 seasons, to be fair, and he did not do it in his last season. Wayne Gretzky, that is.
Damn.
So,
And
yeah, so
Crosby's like definitely past his prime, but like still cooking.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's kind of like I would kind of argue he's in like his Tom Brady with the Buccaneers era. Like
Yeah,
he's
so
got a
he's
few
still
more years
good, but
left at
yeah, but he's still
most. If he
yeah, but
gets the
like
pieces
the
around him, he
body's
can
wearing
compete.
down and
But like
stuff. Yeah, yeah.
he can't carry the team anymore,
Right. Yeah, yeah.
essentially. So,
I was gonna
um,
say I was hoping you weren't about to use the LeBron emphasis because I was like that dude's 40 carrying the team. Like don't do
no,
that.
no,
Like
no,
don't do that. So yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
no.
no.
The Brady at the Bucks is a great
No,
comparison.
because unlike the NBA, even though it's the same number of players plus goalie, the NHL is much more of a team game than the NBA is because
Yeah,
you can only
yeah.
when you're only playing for 90 to 2 minutes at a time. You're rotating all of these guys onto the ice that it becomes much more of a team game than the
Right, right,
NBA
right.
and LeBron,
Yeah.
where you
Yeah,
can truly
scoring
carry
10
a team.
baskets. Yeah, you can
Yeah,
just score 10 buckets in a row and play crazy defense.
yeah,
And
exactly. And then honestly, this is my most important point of the night. The Flyers finally fired John Tortorella.
finally,
I cannot stand this individual. I haven't since he coached
I
the
know.
Rangers, I think. But when they announced his hiring, I was against it. I'm just a fan. I don't really care, or my opinion doesn't matter. But still, I'm super excited that he got fired, and that hopefully we'll get somebody in who can kind of get this team on track because they're rough to watch. And if you know anything about Philly sports, you know that is unacceptable. So, but look, if we have to sacrifice the Flyers for an Eagles Super Bowl, I think probably 10 out of 10 Philly fans would take that.
Yeah, yeah.
If they say, hey, the Sixers and Flyers are gonna suck,
But the Eagles would be
but the
really
Eagles win
good.
the
Yeah.
Super Bowl,
Yeah, that's a
we're
fucking
all
yeah.
taking it. Who am I
Yeah,
joking?
100%. Yeah, yeah.
uh,
You could shut down the rest of Denver sports if you promise me a Super Bowl. Like the
yeah,
Nuggets, I don't give a fuck. Jokic retired. I don't care. Like fucking move on. Give me a Bo Nix Super Bowl
yeah.
right now. Yeah,
Um,
I'm taking the Super Bowl over all else because it does. It just feels so good. It
yeah,
feels so good. And
right.
even as a fan, dude, winning that game against the Panthers, like, oh god, dude, Vaughn strip sack, Cam looking flustered, like that whole game, I was just like, fuck yes.
Yes, I
Like yeah,
understand how
what
you feel after this
exactly?
past
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
yes. Like it just the whole day, you're just like, fuck yes. Like you're nervous, and then as soon as you actually start playing well, you're like, oh my god, we might actually fucking do this. Like, and yeah, you guys were in a commanding situation in that
Yeah.
one, so.
Yeah. I do have a note here. I sent you a video earlier and we didn't really discuss it, but NCAA football, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
I love that. It's
in
amazing.
NCAA football, honestly, the dude's like, you might as well hire him.
He's living his
Um,
best life.
yes, but for what it's worth, people who don't know, it's worth going to listen. He talked about it on his podcast the other week, where he and a bunch of his buddies play in a league in NCAA football, and he took the Charlotte. I don't even know what their
49ers.
49ers. I was going to say, I don't. It just hit me that I don't even know what their mascot
Yeah,
is.
yeah. Oh yeah, I'm almost
Um,
positive that's what they are.
yeah, he took the Charlotte
They were the
University of
worst
Charlotte.
team.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
they're the
One
worst.
of the
Yeah,
worst teams in
49ers.
college football.
49ers, yep.
And he built his dynasty up and finally beat his buddy, who is a longtime spotter in the sport, TJ Majors, um, who plays Michigan in their dynasty league thing. He beat them for the national championship. And
Which is
so,
just crazy.
yeah. And he gets into it. Like, he truly breaks it down.
With
Like,
spreadsheets and shit.
yeah,
I
he
was
shows
like,
his
"These are my
spreadsheets and all
plays,"
that.
and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, damn.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's
look, when you've
crazy.
made as much money as he does, and you
That's what
own
he does
the
for fun.
media empire that he
That's
owns,
what he does for fun.
Good for
Yeah,
him,
he's
honestly.
doing 4 or 5 hours out a day, and he's just like, dude, it's a pretty good day. And
Yeah.
taking a nap and then doing whatever. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
good for him.
In
Good for him.
I sent you a clip of when he was on another podcast, but on his podcast where he discusses it, they actually play with multiple teams just because like you have to play so often, like you can only play so often, and then everybody has to roll the week over kind of thing.
Mm.
And so like because like sometimes you're waiting till Thursday for that guy to roll over the week. He's like sometimes we just go and pick up other teams and we play with them too in like the same league, which is just wild. Like I just
Yeah, they do
couldn't
an extra
imagine all
game.
of
Yeah,
that.
that's a lot. That's a lot
Yeah.
of crossing wires. But I
Um,
mean, I guess you ultimately can though, because yeah, like week 1 is however many teams, but then if there's Minnesota versus West Virginia and nobody picked those 2 teams, it's like fuck it, AJ, you want to play those two? Like just
Yeah.
for fun, like just run through those games and have fun, play it, and then move on. But like I don't care how West Virginia or Minnesota does.
Right.
So like
Yeah,
who cares?
exactly.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
We gotta. Yeah, I need you to get an Xbox. You need to get an Xbox. You're like the missing piece for like dynasties being put together.
Am I?
Yeah.
Am I
Yes,
really?
Yes, yes. 'Cause
Really?
I can't play with John. Yes, I can't play with John. I can't play football games with John. It's impossible. I need him to fucking blindfold himself to play football games. Like it's not
You
fair.
can.
No.
You
I
just gotta go
literally
like
cannot.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. level.
John has that already. Like John, without me even building a spreadsheet with my newfound fucking Excel skills, can do that shit.
See,
and
here's
I
the
don't
problem.
like
We
that.
have what you call kids.
Literally.
No offense to John,
no
but
offense to John, but yeah, John. We've talked about it a couple times. Where like we go to get those Madden leagues, they do it where it's like you just talked about, where like the turnaround time, you're waiting like week to
Yeah.
week. There are so many times where he'll text me like, "You want to play in this Madden league?" And I'm like, "Sure." What's the buy-in? What teams are available? What's the turnover time? And he'll be like, $20. Here's these 5 teams, 24-hour week to week. I'm like, dude, no. I'm like, I cannot guarantee. And then I go, okay. He's like, it's a streamer league, and I'm like, okay, well, do I have to stream the game? He's like, yeah, that way they can like see it and prove you weren't cheating and you didn't quit and blah 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 blah. I was like, you think I have time to stream for at least one Madden game every fucking day? I was like, John, no. I was like, I can't do it. I was like, you got to find me like a 1 week turnaround. I was like, I want to play like the actual NFL season, and then like you got me. I'll play every Tuesday
Yeah.
night and play that Sunday's game or whatever. I was like, you got me. I was like, I cannot do
Yeah.
the day to days. And like I like just being in like the Discord and shit with those guys. Like, dude, 4 hours left. You guys better get these fucking games in. Blah blah blah. I'm like, this shit's too stressful. Like, you guys are adding extra stress into already playing a head-to-head stressful game. Like,
Yeah.
no, hell no.
and then the weeks where you have a user player and now you have to match up with their schedule. Like
Right, that's that's pretty much. So what I'm talking about is they do leagues where it's 32 people. So like
Oh,
no matter what,
right.
it's user to user. So every
You got
week it's
24
like,
hours to make it with somebody else's schedule.
yes.
Ain't no way, bro.
Yes, dude, that's what I'm saying. And they're just like, oh, if you can't make it, you forfeit it at Auto Sims or whatever, and blah 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 blah. And I was like, dog, and no, I was like, I just might as well hand you $20 for Light It on Fire. I was like, no, I was like, I'm gonna go and whatever because I'm not gonna be there. I'm gonna miss everything. And I was like, I'll be late one night, and people would bitch and moan. He said he was gonna be here at 7. I gotta go to work at 11:30 tonight. We gotta get this game done before then. And then someone stalls too long, and then they don't get it in time.
Yeah.
Chaos, fucking chaos, dude. Because I always was like, it's fun to do
no.
those leagues. Yeah, it's fun to do those, but not at that high level and
Yeah.
that much pressure. I was like, that ruins it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Fair enough. For what it's worth, an Xbox is semi high on my priority list, but not super high.
I've been good so
it's on
far.
it. It's on it.
Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, Xbox. We're rolling. We're just moving down the list. We're moving down
We're
the
working
list.
on it. For what it's worth, those prices are slowly coming down on the marketplace.
They are
So,
too. Yeah, yeah.
it's getting there.
I'll be watching for
Anyways,
Best Buy deals because Best Buy does pop up every now and then, take 50 or 100 off. So if that's what you're looking for. If you want to snag one of the Series X's for $100 off, like let's get it. I'll watch. I'll watch for it.
I don't know.
I'll keep an
400
eye.
though is still
I'll
like,
keep an eye out. It comes with a controller.
yeah, but then I gotta buy a headset and
You have a headset on your head.
yeah, but it probably doesn't hook up to an Xbox because it's Logitech.
That probably does hook up to an Xbox because it's Logitech.
Mm.
All my
But
shit's
for what
Logitech
it's worth,
except for my headset.
I could do I could join parties through my computer and play, but then it just gets confusing and shit gets
No, we'll do
wonky.
Discord. We'll do Discord.
Discord does do conversations through Xbox Live.
Xbox.
Yeah.
You can join. John and I have done it a couple times. We have it. The other night, his headset died, so he was like, "I'm just gonna talk to you through Discord through my mic and headset setup." So we got out of the Xbox party, joined my DJB's Discord chat, and we just sat in a voice chat and fucking talked for a little bit. And then Derek got on, and his headset was charged. So we went back to Xbox party chat.
Yeah, but then I feel like then you lose game volume though in your headset. Do you not?
I can hear the game.
Oh, okay.
You can't hear people then, but you can't be in a party chat and Discord. But you can be in Discord and hear your games. Like I'm listening to Call of Duty sounds, but talking in Discord. It's pretty sweet. Yeah,
man, we're going wild with tonight's podcast.
Yeah, this is all over the place. We knew the sports
conspiracy theories.
We knew we had to fill it in with an hour.
Video games. Here we are.
What was my main conspiracy theory?
Yeah, just food stuff and poisoning yourself in a grocery store was really the big one.
Yeah. Right,
which
cool.
wasn't like a conspiracy theory. It's not a conspiracy at this point. So.
Yeah, it really is not. I was thinking ahead of. That's funny too. That's one of those ones that we were talking about the whole ingredients and all that shit. I had looked it up recently. We're like Kaylee and Ray were like, let's get a candle, and I was like, I feel like we're not supposed to have candles anymore. Like having people prove that that's like bad for us. Like you're not supposed to be burning candles indoor and shit. Like, and if you are, it's got to be like some kind of natural whatever. And I was like, even like the wax melts. I'm like, I feel like that just puts chemicals into the air. And then Kaylee was like, what about this? What about like the air freshener that squirts? I'm like, again, like you're just spraying chemicals where we're trying to breathe. And I'm like, I feel like that's not right. And I'm like, just open a window. Like, let fresh air smell come in or something. I'm like, I don't know what the right answer is.
Buy some flowers.
So I was like, do flowers. I looked up and people were like, oh, make your own potpourri or whatever. Like, you little crock pot and throw in all this random shit. I tried that one day and it did not work. And so Kayla was like, can I get a candle now? I was like, let me do like a little more digging. And I got onto this one Reddit thread where it was like, should I be burning candles? Is it bad for me? Blah, 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 blah. The number one comment with like 500 upvotes was like, dog, there's microplastics in our food. Fucking burn the candle. And I was like, you can get candles, hon. I was like, they don't have to be Woodwick or organic or whatever. I was like, just get whatever you want. Bath and Body Works, Walmart, I don't give a fuck. I was like, go to the dollar store and just get some candles. I was like, we're all gonna die anyway. Just get some candles. I was like, I am really tired of worrying about certain things. I was like, that's one where like I did. Like I got too worried about it, and it was like, who fucking cares, dude? Like if I can't even fix with the food that I'm eating, who cares what I'm breathing?
Even if you do open a window, it's probably not really fresh air anyways. So.
No, I'm just bringing it outside other people's candles in through my window. Like, it's fucking no matter what.
Other people's candles. You live outside of Mechanicsburg. It's the whole industrial complex.
Yeah, that too. But I just meant like the joke of like other people be burning candles that goes out their window and in mine. So even if I open my window thinking I'm getting fresh air, I'm just pulling in other people's pollutants. Was my point.
Yeah.
But I mean, I drive through Mechanicsburg every other day and smell fucking Purina dog food. Imagine opening your window and getting hit with that shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, conspiracy theories back to March Madness.
Yeah, March Madness. It's all a big circle. So Bama destroys BYU, sets NCAA record. I think they ended up with 27 3-pointers.
Yeah, it was crazy. That's insane. 112 points for a March Madness game is fucking bananas too. Yeah, like, that's just insane.
Right. Like I guess props to them. They're rolling on to the next round. Florida goes on to beat Maryland. It wasn't as big of a win, but it was still a big win.
They were close for most of it, and then Florida just this final 10 minutes, Florida was just fucking dominating.
Yeah, 87-71 was the final score of that game. And right now we have on Duke, Arizona, and Arkansas, Texas Tech. So Duke's leading Arizona 36-33, and Arkansas is up 22-14 over Texas Tech. Buddy in my Discord of mine said, "Hey," he goes to Arkansas and he said, "Hey, watch out for my Razor Rask," and
right so far.
He has been right so far, and so far it's looking good for him.
I think they might see
10th seed in the Elite Eight is wild.
Yeah, John Calipari though, like you talk about someone that knows what they're doing, and no matter what seed, that's.
And then tomorrow night we get another 4 games, including our beloved Michigan Wolverines taking on Auburn. So you have Ole Miss versus Michigan State, Kentucky, Tennessee, Michigan versus Auburn, and then Purdue, Houston to wrap up your
Yeah,
Friday night.
lots of good stuff. That'll be it right
Um,
now. I like how they did it too, where it's set up so that like the games are set for the next round. So like Duke and Arizona plays Alabama because Alabama beat BYU, and then earlier Florida had beat Maryland. So right now we're watching Texas Tech and Arkansas. So like we'll know the finals of all four of those games, and then
right.
like the top left and bottom right bracket go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like that'll be fun. So you will know two of the Elite Eight games ahead of time. So
Yeah. By I guess by the time you're listening to this.
yeah, it'll be all over. I love John Calipari, even as a can or a Kentucky guy. I was like,
Yeah.
we're supposed to hate Bill Self and hate John Calipari.
Yeah.
I just don't. Like, I
Right.
don't. Like, even Coach K was like, I had the respect for Coach K, but I hate the Duke logo. Like, fuck Duke.
Right.
But yeah, other than that, March Madness is cooking. We love it. We're here. We talked about it a couple times already, but just a reminder: April 12th, we got Volkanovski, Title Bell, and Patty Pimblett fighting. So like that'll be fun. Can't wait for that. It'll be a solid fight night. That might be one where we try to get some people over. Check your schedule for that. That'd be fun. See what you're doing.
Something's going on.
Something's going on.
We're booked every weekend in April. I just don't know what in that
Fuck,
particular
dude.
weekend.
Yeah, I know. It's once spring hits, everyone just starts piling in fucking reservations. It's just, oh, it's warm out. Let's start getting shit done, and then everyone's got shit to do.
It doesn't help that I take a fishing trip in April every year. So like I'm gone for like a weekend and a half, or almost half a week. And then Easter is always in April.
That's true too. Yeah, that kills a weekend.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
that's 2 weekends of mine gone, and then it's like there's
Right.
only 2 other weekends to fill
Right.
up. And what inevitably ends up happening, because my wife and I live separated from both of our families, we see them so much during the holidays that we need a break. And then about April rolls around, and we're like,
Yeah,
we
we
should
haven't seen them in a few
probably
months.
go see
Yeah.
these people.
Yeah.
Like,
I haven't talked to them in a few months.
yeah,
I don't want to wait till
Um,
Christmas to see them again. So
yeah,
it's-
exactly. So that's what it is. NASCAR has a triple header this weekend. Trucks Friday night, all at Martinsville Speedway. So you have the Trucks Friday night at 7:30, Xfinity Saturday at 5, and the Cup Series Sunday at 3. I don't think we really mentioned this since the start of the season, but we do run a NASCAR Pick'em League. If you're interested in joining,
It's not
I
too
don't.
late.
I don't. It's not too late. We do a average 5 races, your best 5 races of the season. So if you come in with the last 5 races and pick all the winners, there is a potential you win that pot.
Yep.
I don't think we really discussed this, but I'd have no problem if somebody was just like, "Yeah, I just want to be in the $5 average."
I was gonna say it too. If somebody says,
'Cause
no, "I'll throw in $5 and just put me in that side of it," there's no reason not to. Because
Yeah.
the pools are already separated.
Right.
Yeah, I would be happy to do that.
Gotcha.
There's no reason to make them pay the $5 for
So-
there. I was gonna say that, but didn't know if it was like fair. But then I was like, why would it be? Like,
Yeah.
who cares? Like, it's still a 5 game average.
Yeah.
You still paid your
I mean,
$5.
to be completely fair, if you want to come in for the entire season, go for it.
Right, yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's
if you
not
want to,
super
yeah.
late in the season, and
Yeah,
could make
but
up
it's
all
still
those
possible.
points.
Yeah, it's absolutely still possible.
So-
Yeah, that's Once we get probably halfway through, it's gonna be pretty tough. You'd have
Yeah.
to have a pretty miraculous run. But yeah, we're still well in the early stages
Yeah.
of it. So
And then other racing, it's not this weekend, the following one, F1 goes to Japan. Big news out of F1, Liam Lawson kicked out of the Red Bull seat beside Max Verstappen just 2 weeks into the season.
damn.
Yeah, so Red Bull basically said like, "Oh, that was our bad. We actually should have put Yuki Tsunoda in," which like everybody said before the season, and people were actually pretty pissed about the fact that he didn't get the ride. And so I think they knocked Liam Lawson out to a reserve driver and moved Yuki up. I don't know if they announced who they put in the Racing Bulls car. So yeah, if that's not confusing enough for you, there's a Red Bulls team and there's a Racing Bulls team. It's Red Bull Racing, not Red Bulls. But yeah, they are two separate teams, but they're both run by Red Bull. And so it's like they call it the A team and the B team because that's essentially what it is. So they do everything legally, supposedly. So is what it is. And then IndyCar is 3 weekends away. They go to Long Beach, so nothing to talk about there. But we talked about the PGA already and Scotty on Tiger, but we did not talk about the TGL. What'd you think of it?
I realized watching it Monday night that like I was zoned out, not paying attention to it a lot of it, and then I was
Gotcha.
like, okay, I see the
I
score.
find
but I
the
was like, I
same
don't-
thing.
I
when I
was like, I
watch it.
don't know the ins and outs of it yet. I think that's why. Like, if
Yeah.
I knew where the scores were going, and I just haven't taken the 5 minutes to look it up. But like, once I do, and that's why I was like, it sucks to say, but it was like next season. Like, I watched it this year. I gave him the views. I made sure I had
Yes.
it on whatever TV I was watching, so that they knew I was at least paying attention or listening. But I felt like I kept looking away for a minute, and then all of a sudden I'd look back up and they were interviewing the winners. I felt like that kept happening, and
Mm.
so like same thing Tuesday night. I put it on, was fucking around for a little bit, and then was like, oh shit, TGO, and I clicked it back on and was like, oh, they're interviewing Justin Thomas and everybody else that won. I was like, I
Yeah.
missed the whole fucking thing. But watching the highlights and stuff, like yeah, like once I understand what's happening and get the rules, and like I know that they changed some of the rules halfway through, which like I love. Like they're being
Yes.
innovative and they're paying attention, and they were like, hey, this didn't work, let's fix it. Like there's no reason to just keep going. So yeah, so yeah, I'm all for it at this point. That's yeah, I love it. I'm hoping that they do it again. I hope that they add the women's. I hope that it just becomes bigger and better. I hope they add East Coast spots that we can go see them play. Like
Yeah.
I think that
I
this
agree.
is I forget who I think I was watching the golf channel. I was watching the golf channel the other night because like I said it was like Tuesday night and I was like there's fucking nothing on right now. So I put the golf channel on like when the boys get home from school, it was just something chill to be on in the background. And I was listening to the guys talking and the one guy was like he's like, I'm tired of hearing people say that the TGL will never be PGA and blah 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 blah. They were like Tiger and Rory purposely did this to enhance PGA. They did this to
Yeah.
add to the game. They did this to enhance a
Right.
younger crowd and entice new people to come get a glimpse of how fun golf is. And then realize that you can expand and go play for 4 fucking hours if you want to. Like
Yeah.
that's what golf is. But look at this
Or
cool
look at all
little
these
arcade
simulators that are out
snapshot.
there.
Top Golf and all these other
Yeah.
simulators and shit now. Like you can like we have that one right here in Mechanicsburg. It's in this little ass strip mall. You wouldn't expect it to be in there. You walk in and there's high enough ceilings you can whack fucking golf clubs. So like
Yeah.
yeah, so like the amount of simulators, the amount of young people that are playing now and things like that. Like yeah, I've it was one too like in high school. Like it was like we have a golf team. Like that's fucking random as fuck. But like B Cartmill was on it and it was
Yeah.
like that's just like so random. Like who plays golf at our age? But like
Same.
my
Yeah.
boys will absolutely be on the golf team. Like there
Dude.
is no question they're gonna be on the golf team by like third or fourth
Yeah.
grade. Like fuck
You get to
yeah, dude.
college and they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, like we have a golf team." And I'm like, "Shit, I've never played golf. This
Never even
sucks."
played golf.
Yeah, no,
That's
I'm right there with you.
I may have made this joke before, but I don't know if I've ever even said it on the podcast. But like when Kaylee was pregnant with Joe, I was getting my hair cut by one of my buddies. He's a barber, and I was just like, yeah, dude. I was like, we found out it's a boy, and I was gonna be so excited, just like football and basketball and wrestling and all that other shit. He was like, dude, I have my kids play golf, and I was like, really? And he was like, always nice weather, never gonna get hurt. Last place still brings home like 6 figures. He was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna be a golf dad. And I was like, damn, that's a good ass point, dude.
The
I was like, I
only
need to get
the
I
only
need
thing
to
that
get them
sucks about
golfing
golf is because you can't really play at night. Their competitions during high school and college are always during the day.
during the day. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's true. So
because
like
I
as
remember
parents,
just
yeah, like
throwback.
they'd be leaving. Yeah.
I hope she doesn't mind, but I remember Amanda Halula was on our golf team
Oh,
in
interesting.
high school, and I was like, "Damn, like I didn't even know we had a golf team." She's like, "Yeah, I'm about to go play. Like I'm out the rest of the day." I'm
Yeah,
like,
so to go play, and
"Fuck."
like now thinking
Like,
of that, literally just you saying that makes me realize like the gravity of that situation. You're telling me I could have got out of high school to go play
yeah,
golf, and I just wasn't doing that.
yeah,
Dog,
exactly.
what? What?
Yeah,
What? Like that's like you're telling me if I make the basketball team, they're just gonna pop in on a Tuesday at noon and be like, come on, we're running hoops down at Pleasant View. Let's go. Like you're getting out of school, hop on the school bus, let's go play some hoops. I'm like,
yeah.
fuck yeah, dude, I'm on the
Yeah,
team.
and like
That's what's up,
the home
dude.
course was Armitage, so it wasn't like close by. Like they had to go like
Oh, there you
that's like
go.
a
20
20-minute
minutes.
drive across.
Yeah,
Yeah.
damn.
So like just that alone is 40 minutes, and then if you have to travel to another school's course, now you're looking at a couple hours.
Dude, that's such a good ass point that like you legit if you're someone who enjoys golf, you get out of school to play golf.
Yeah.
Like I remember playing basketball in middle school and we got to leave like half an hour early on
Right.
like an away game day because you get on the bus, you feel fucking cool walking out with your jersey and getting on the bus and going to another school at 2:30 and it
Yeah.
was like we missed like an hour of school. Who cares?
Right. Yeah.
But like yeah, missing like a whole day because you got to go fucking
Yeah.
play golf.
Yeah.
Like,
Golf's
dude,
like my tea
hell
times at 10,
yes,
so I gotta leave at
yeah,
9.
sick,
Like,
dude.
yeah.
Oh, can't take that test on Friday. I have a tea time. Like fuck yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm definitely signing my kids
We
up for some
we did
fucking
high school
golf.
wrong in that
Yeah,
instance.
100%, dude. That's what I get for my kids. I'm like, all right, don't drink soda, play golf. Let's go. Come on, let's get out of here. Let's get after
We
it.
got this. Chop chop.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's it.
Anything else?
Nothing
Yeah, we
else.
got
Hershey
some-
Bears, we always revisit them that they are still in
yes.
second place. Playoffs are starting here in April. I'm definitely gonna get the boys out there for a game in the playoffs. Absolutely. Like I said, we didn't make it last year, but we got to go the year before. So we got to see them be part of the first of the championship, and right now the Bears are back to back, so they're going for the
Yeah.
three-peat this year. So
And then, for what it's worth, the Senators and the
starting up
Islanders
soon.
seasons are starting soon. So,
I looked up that game the other day. You told me about it. They were playing it at Milton Hershey High
yeah,
School, so it was against Milton Hershey at Milton Hershey. So I was like, "Fuck!" I'm not. It was
you don't
cold
want
and
to drive
like
the whole
real
way out
windy,
there.
and I was like, "I'm not running the whole way out there." It
Yeah, I
was a
got
6
it.
p.m. game too, and I
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
I told the kid, like I was talking to Kaylee and the kids. I was like, "Let's go watch a soccer game," and I was like, "Hold on, let me get some details." And I was like, "All right, 6 p.m." I was like, "That's not so bad." And I was like, "It's kind of cold out," and then I saw Hershey, and I was like, "Fuck!" And I was like, "I'm not driving the whole way to Hershey
That's
for that."
farther than I want to
Yeah, I
go.
was like, first City Island game though. I was like, we're there. I was like, I'm down
Yeah.
to be there. I got you guys. I was like, I'll be there to
Yeah.
support. So
Speaking of kids and just family stuff tonight, I was like, I need to look up the Phillies schedule. Opening day, I was like, I need to get Bruni to a game. And my wife just looks at me and she's like, "Are you out of your mind?" And I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "You're not gonna have her sit through a whole baseball game." And I was like, "Yeah, but like, I just want her to know and like grow up with Philly sports."
that's how
And
I.
she was like,
For me, it
"Okay,
was just an exposure thing.
yeah,
But I will tell you from experience. You do you parent your thing. But like from experience, like I took Joe to that Penn State football game the one time.
yeah,
Everyone screamed touchdown. He was like involved for a second or two, but then like had no idea what was going on.
right."
So like there is
That
definitely
that
being
was my
too
wife's
young to
point.
be there. And like
Yeah,
like he was there, but then he doesn't know the difference of a Cumberland Valley game and a Philadelphia Eagles game at this
right.
point. Like now he probably does, but that was like 2.5 years ago. Me and Rand randomly on a Saturday were like, "Kayla, do you want to watch Mac? Me and her are gonna take Joe to a football game." Like it was random as hell, and I took Joe to the Penn State game. So yeah, so I agree with you. I was in the same
Yeah.
spot where I was like, my parents never would have. It's
Yes.
exposure to shit. Maybe he gets an autograph or a high five from a player, and that lights the spark. I
Right.
took him to the high school football game, and he gave the players high fives, talked about it all fucking week, and it was like, I spent how much goddamn money on that Penn State game, and he doesn't even fucking
That's-
remember it. And so yeah,
Yeah.
that's one where I would encourage you, just as a friendly, hey, you want to go to a Phillies game? I'm all for it. I'll go with you. Probably we'll let all three of the kids fuck around and ruin our day. But if you want to just save the money and most of the headache, go to like a Lock Haven baseball game or whatever.
Well, that was her
still
point.
gets
She was
that
like,
same
"Let's just go
experience.
to a Crosscutters game. That's
Yeah,
our local
yes,
team, like the
local
Senators."
amateur, yep.
Yeah. And I was
Do they
like,
play the Senators at all? Are they in the same
"Alright."
league?
No, they're not.
Oh.
They're
I think the
it's
Senators
like,
are the larger one.
yeah, it's like, I think it's double A to triple A
Right.
is the difference. But
Yeah.
for what it's worth, the Crosscutters did win their national championship,
Nice.
their
There you go.
World Series of whatever league they're in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
good
I
for
mean, hey,
them.
if
But
you
yeah,
go to a Phillies game, like I said, we can torture each other together. Like that shit, we got a bond together in those situations of dad life. Like, dude, this is
But yeah,
fucking miserable.
and then
Why, fourth inning where we both are like, how the fuck did we do this, dude? Joe,
Yeah.
sit down. Bruni, stop touching Mac. Mac, get your hands to yourself. Like everyone, just sit and watch baseball.
yeah,
Like,
and then
that-
she
that-
hit
that
me
is
with
what happens.
then she hit me with I still don't know why you're trying to take her to the Eagles game, and I'm like, that's important to me. I
Yes,
know
Matt,
it has
yes.
nothing to do with
No,
her.
yeah, I
This is
agree with
solely
that
for
one.
me, and so I
That-
can have a
yeah.
picture. Like,
Picture of her. This was you and me opening day the year they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I get that.
like-
Like I said, that's why I want to go, so that the boys can be like, oh, I've been a Philadelphia Eagles fan my whole life. My dad took me. I wanted to go to the parade. My dad took me to their opening game to see the Super Bowl ceremony. Like,
Yeah.
I want that for them. To like, if they become diehard Eagle fans,
Right.
I helped them with their foundation and shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I love that. I love that. So
yeah, I'm like, I understand that this is for me, and like honestly, if she just makes it through like one quarter, I'll be happy. Like
Yeah,
at that point,
yeah.
I'll go run around the concourse with her. Like I can
Yeah.
handle that.
Yep.
I just like, I want her to just be there. I want to get the photo op. Like,
truly.
this
if
is
you're, like,
this is for me. I am the selfish
Yeah.
one in this instance. I am the
100%,
one
yep.
spending all of this stupid money to take her down there, but I can accept that. Like,
Yeah, that was how it was for me at the NASCAR race where in Phoenix last year, where I was like, I don't think that they're gonna want to pay attention. I'm bringing their iPads because I want to watch, and I
Right.
was like bringing an iPad to the thing I paid a ticket for is fucking insane. And I was like, but like we don't have babysitters out here. I want to go.
Yeah.
Let's just go. I was like, they might enjoy it, they might not. And if they don't, they'll put their headsets on their iPad, and I can sit and watch racing. And Kaylee enjoys racing too. Like that's why
Yeah.
she grew up around with her dad, like working
Right.
on sprint cars at the Grove and shit like that. So that's like that random thing for her where she's like, I actually do fuck with racing a lot. So like sitting and just watching a race, like she was all for it too. But yeah, that was one where I was like, yeah, this is for me, dude. I was like, if they like it, great. But like, I'm going to this race for me for sure. Dude.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, they happen to be there, but yeah, so no, yeah, I agree 100%. And then the same thing too, like one of the, like earlier this year, whenever we were watching the Cumberland Valley games, like one of the nights it was freezing cold and Rand and Kaylee are both here hanging out, and they both like, we don't want to go. And I was like, I might go myself. I was like, I just want to go watch football. And I was like, nobody else wants to go. And I was like, I might take it. And then the boys
Yeah.
both were like, we want to go. And then the girls were like, fine, we will go with you. And I was like, all right, cool, let's all go.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to sit in the cold. And I was like, y'all better bundle up. I'm not leaving early. I was like, I want to go watch. It was, I think CV made the playoffs. It was, we
Yeah,
drove
when
to
they made the
Lancaster for the
playoffs.
playoff game. Yes,
Yeah.
I drove to Lancaster for the playoff game. And that's where they were like, it's gonna be fucking freezing out. And I'm down there yelling at referees like I got a kid playing. And like Kaylee was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know. It's my team, I guess. I don't know. I was like, I feel like I should care about this. And I was like, this is the
Right.
team I'm rooting for, so I have a really hard time not being passionate and buying into it. And I was like, I'm fucking here for it. And that was a pass interference, goddammit. I was like, that guy was there
Yes,
before the
sir.
ball was. So yeah, I'm
All right.
all for it.
Anything
Man,
else before we wrap up?
no, I don't think so. But don't
Fair
you dare
enough.
go to a Phillies game without me. Make sure you at least let me know.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
definitely let you know.
Yeah, we can do that torture together. It'll be a lot more fun.
All right, let's send us home with a fun fact. Let's go with blind pick. This one. The tongue is the only muscle in one's body that is attached from one end.
It makes me feel so uncomfortable. It feels like this little alien flange right now. Like, I
Sure
don't
is.
like that at all. I don't like that one bit.
Yep, every other
Like, 'cause
muscle is
it's
attached to at
just
least cartilage on the other
it,
end.
yeah, it's just hanging out there. Huh.
And you have full control over it.
Yeah, I don't
Hopefully,
love
I
that
guess.
one. Yeah, I don't love that one.
So, that's it. That
Huh.
is your fun fact for the day.
My cool tongue fact so that I can do the and then I can
Okay.
touch my nose too.
There you go.
Every time someone says, "Why does Kaylee love you?" I
don't-
say, I can touch my tongue with my nose."
I don't know that I can do that, and I'm not willing to try on air. So
Yeah, it's a gross situation, but I always can do it. I can
It's one of
touch a
those,
little
like,
bit with my nose.
if I make it, it'd be like, oh, cool, I could do it. And then another time, I'm like, now I'm stuck here trying to lick my nose for how long on air.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, no, it takes
All
like a
right.
special angle. You just have to get it out and then like curve it back. And
Yeah.
It works almost every time. But
All right. Well, we appreciate you all. Like and subscribe, follow,
Like and
whatever it is,
subscribe.
rate if it's on Spotify. Check us out this Sunday. We'll be back with some weekend updates. We'll have Elite Eight.
this
We'll
will
have
be this will be a
NASCAR
good
stuff.
weekend. Yeah, this will be a solid. This past few days were pretty slow, but the next 4 days are gonna be pretty hot and heavy. So.
Yeah. So we'll have a bunch of updates Sunday, and we'll go from there. Appreciate you all as
GGs,
always.
y'all.
Take care.